Hey guys, hope you're ready for another episode of Pathfinder Kingmaker. I went back, reloaded a save, and made Octavia a wizard instead of a rogue. Turns out she can get the needed sneak attack just from taking a feat. And I'll take one feat over 2 levels any day.
Don't you think?
So we're still on our quest to find that druid. I'm gonna check out the quest log, see if I missed a hint. Okay, we only have about 2 months left. So... Alright, it's not there. Not there. Oh yeah, I'm surprised we didn't see any moon radishes while we dealt with the kobolds and the mites. Come on. They told me about a druid who was by some abandoned area.
We should gather our strength.
Everyone's all tired.
I need to catch my breath.
Okay. Let's see what Octavia's specialty is. Set alarm. No, just helps alert us. And now we need someone better at hunting. Dang it. I could have sworn I had better perception on him. How does she have 0 perception? Alright. We'll use her alarm for the first watch, and then just set everyone on the second watch, I guess. Is this viable? I guess we'll see once we start getting attacked. Or alerted of attackers. In, you know, the better case scenario. Oh. Alright, big ol' loop-de-loop.
I need to catch my breath.
Finding druids in the forest is hard.
My strength fades.
We should gather our strength.
We'll stop at the trading post. eventually there just won't be any brown on the map and we'll have to find them eventually. Fresh bread! I can't believe it. All this time we sat in cages and crawled in the mud. There were places in the world where they were baking fresh bread. And here we are. But they have clean sheets. Maybe we can even take a bath? Ha ha ha! The girl can dream. Of course we'll tell her she can just enjoy herself. You can be sure of that. I've got years of rest to catch up on. And I'll be stuffing my face and I turn into a ball. You do so much for us. Is it all because you're kind? Or maybe, she smiles flirtatiously, maybe it's because you've been charmed by my beauty? You already have a boyfriend, and I'm not into the poly scene. Yeah, just taking care of you because you're part of my party. Forget about fighting for a moment. We all need a break, especially you. Alright, enough talk. Fresh bread and clean sheets await. Aw, so wholesome. Yeah, it's nice having a strength character for the scenes where suddenly the party dumps all their goods onto you.
Forwards.
Alright, we don't have a ton of stuff, but let's get rid of what we do have. Let's keep one masterwork longbow for Octavia. And one rapier. Relic collectors will definitely pay much for this. Interesting. Okay, I think that's all for now. Still need to recover quite a bit of our funds. Okay, just have everyone in the party simultaneously now. Alright, now Maguses are pretty cool. They basically dual wield, but one wield is their hand that they're casting spells with. And let's see. It's got the Draconic Bloodline, which is neato. So it could even be like a Dragon Disciple Magus. That'd be cool. Alright. Let's make sure he has at least 1 point in the things he's supposed to be good at. Okay, so it looks like he's definitely going for more of the Shocking Grasp Magus, which is the standard. He doesn't need to focus on Unarmed Strike because he just casts the spell through his weapon. Don't need to focus on a crit weapon since the spell can only crit ×2. Well, actually, since the weapon can only crit ×2, you may as well just use a ×2 crit weapon that crits a lot, like a rapier. Being able to dual wield with a wand and cast the wand spells through your sword is kinda cool, but I'll just focus on weapon attacks. I think that'll be simpler. Okay, so he's got Shocking Grasp, like you would expect. He's got shield and mage armor. So he's got a lot of the basics already. Enlarging him and then stabbing people will be fun. He's got pretty solid stats too. He doesn't need wisdom except for saves. Con's a little low, but you gotta make some sacrifices somewhere. Now if I did want to make him a Dragon Disciple, all I'd need is Knowledge Arcana 5. What is your Knowledge Arcana? Should have put one more point into it last level. But it's K. You really only need a few levels of Dragon Disciple for the bonus strength. And then what do I want to supplement that? Yeah, for right now, Bull Strength would be quite powerful, since he doesn't have any magic items. Blur mixed with Shield and Arcane Armor will let him be on the front lines. Okay. That seems quite solid to me. And then our Inquisitor. Doesn't have any odd stats. Wisdom's our casting stat. So I'll just go Wisdom. And I'm kind of wanting to focus on campground skills. I need everyone to be a little better at perception. And plus 13 is real good at perception for this level. Yeah, she'll be a campground expert. Here. Yeah, we don't have anyone with sea invisibility. That's a good just in case sort of spell. And inflict moderate wounds for its multi-purpose utility on her.
I stand ready.
Alright, let's find and talk to our new companions.
Without a doubt.
Meh. Oh yeah, let's equip our guys too. She's gonna want... Really? I guess a half-elf doesn't get the elven weapon proficiencies. So she doesn't automatically get that. And this S-stock doesn't count as rapier. So our Magus doesn't actually get proficiency in it. Meh, you can just keep the Masterwork Scimitar for a little bit. But Lindsay really needs that chain shirt. So now he's got a rapier. But Octavia, yeah, she'll just sit back and use that short bow for a while longer. This is in the Fog of War. I'm just gonna check. Yeah. No characters. I wonder what that glowy aura around Jathal is.
Our path leads on.
There should always be a button to pet the dog. Petting the dog is important.
Without a doubt.
There's our new companions. He's got that same aura. What do you want? Have a little chat? Alright, it's not like we have anything better to do. Tell me about yourself. What's there to know? I was born, I'm alive, haven't died yet. That enough for you? No, I gathered that much just looking at you. We're gonna go a little deeper. Do you remember your childhood? What a crap question. I was just a kid when they sold me. Before that, I don't remember much. Smoky fires, sticky hides, always bumping along on a horse. I think I was born in one of the Kelid tribes of Numeria. There are many, some survive on their own, some give up their pride and serve the Technic League. I guess mine was one of the cowards, if they sold their own kids. I remember my father's hands, rough, scarred, white. So I guess I get this green skin from my mother. But I don't remember her. I think I just remember playing with another half-orc child. A brother, maybe. For some reason, they didn't sell him, just me. Father gave him his dagger to play with, never gave it to me. I don't want to remember. Forget all this. I'm an orphan. I grew up a slave. I remember well. So many things burned into my memory. Most of all, I remember her, my Octavia. Today we are almost the same age, but back then she was twice as young as me. Just a child, but a brave one. Cunning, bold, and beautiful. The most beautiful girl in the world. What deity do you worship? Ha! I never got much help from the gods so far. But if you make me choose, I'd say Calistria, the goddess of lust and revenge. Who else could I worship? The savored sting, the goddess of pleasure, fun, and revenge. Oh yes. Where'd you get your magical powers? What magical powers? The hells are you talking about? Oh, you mean these? He makes lightning run over his hand with a contented smile, then snaps his fingers, invoking a shower of blinding sparks. I've had them since I was born. At least one thing I can thank my scum parents for. Maybe these powers are why they sold me to slavery. Think they were scared? Who knows? Damn Numerians. At the Technic League, they drew my blood, did experiments, burned me with fire, tortured me with cold and electricity, and they told me, you won't believe it, they told me I had blue dragon blood in my veins. Not bad, huh? I'm a dragon, you freaks. Come check my blood if you dare. Grinning, he strikes his palm with a fist, and another fountain of electric sparks shoots upwards. What do your tattoos mean? They're magical. They help me control my powers. The Technic League gave them to me. I'd hoped that somewhere on my body there were at least one sign left by my tribe. But no, guess they didn't care to bother. To hell with them. They better hope I never find them. If I ever meet my father, I will even the score between us. I got my kitty with me. How do you manage to use both a sword and magic, and not cut off your fingers? Hahaha. Simple. I'm just that bloody good. Yeah, Megases are cool. Do you enjoy making people suffer? Pfft, why should I care about their suffering? I do what I want. If I step on someone's toes, then they shouldn't have put themselves in my way. But chasing someone down just to torture them? That's only entertainment for maniacs like the Technic League. Well, on second thought, for them I would make an exception. I love to watch as I fry them nice and slow. Why do you ask? Do my methods shock you? He clenches his fist, buzzing with sparks, and laughs loudly at his joke. I'll try and stay on his good side. I'll just tell him to control himself. If you say so. Hey, you're the boss. We'll make sure all our atrocities are meaningful. Haha, wouldn't want to upset the boss. Tell me about life in Numeria. You mean my life as a slave? I didn't see much except for the slave barracks and the League's twisted laboratories. We already asked him how he became a slave. I was sold by my own tribe. So I grew up in a slave barracks. I was raised to be sold like a battle animal. They tried to break me, but they picked the wrong brat. No matter how much you beat this animal, he only gets angrier. He punches himself in the chest and snarls. Why did your masters teach you magic? Can't you guess? Because magic is in my blood. That's why they bought me. I wasn't raised as some lowly mop slave, but as a murder machine. I'd fetch quite a nice sum of gold. You might also ask if they knew I'd take the first opportunity to rip their own guts out using everything they taught me. Of course they did. But that's the Technic League. They calculate risk. Octavia kept pretending to be simple-minded, so they wouldn't expect anything of her. But I made every effort, though they didn't teach me much. What's there to teach? It's not book magic, it's innate. They made me practice with my sword more. But I did my best in everything. I studied all I could. They knew they were raising an enemy, but they thought they could keep me on a short leash, or sell me to someone with deep pockets, so I'd become someone else's problem. But who won in the end, huh? Who's free? Who will bury them all? A half-orc makes an obscene gesture in the northwestern direction towards Numeria. So what else did you see? What could I have seen? Well, when we ran, we went through Starfall. That's a fine city. Big, loud, many merchants, things to see, things to steal. But I didn't have much chance to walk around. It's the very nest of the sodding Technic League. We were focused more on getting out alive. We met some barbarians. I asked them who might know what tribe I'm from, but they didn't know anything. I don't have any tribal tattoos, nothing. Actually, they're alright. Well, some of them. The Bloodgars, for one, they're great. All the rivers are theirs. We sailed with them during one of our escapes. almost all the way to Brevoy. And they didn't turn us in, but the White Scars got us after that. Those guys are shit. They've sold their pride to the Technic League. Did you and Octavia try and escape? We just went over that. What do you think? Of course we tried. Stop counting how many times. Jumped from windows, dug tunnels, choked out guards, or seduced them. That happened too. But those dirtbags caught us every time. Every bloody time. My back is covered with whip scars. Luckily, we were prized property. They'd spent too much gold on us to kill us. Anyone else would be hung and forgotten. But they kept trying to break us and recoup their expenses. I don't know whether I could have survived by sheer stubbornness if it weren't for Octavia. I probably couldn't have. I would have just given up and died. But I had to pull my girl out of that meat grinder. And she believed in me. Had enough hope for both of us. When I lay there with my back slashed to pieces, she whispered to me about the River Kingdoms, where there's no slavery, where everyone can go wherever they want and take whatever they want. I'll be damned, but I thought she was just making this up to keep our hopes alive. Now it turns out to be true, all of it, every last word. No chains, no slaves, no laws, just live and be happy. Man, it's nice how happy they are. Slavery legal in Numeria? Sometimes yes, sometimes no. There are some laws against it, but even in Starfall, a third of the people live in bondage. And that's the capital. In regions where the Black Sovereign's hand doesn't reach, they hold to tribal customs instead of laws. The barbarians don't keep slaves. Instead they have thralls. Big bloody difference. What kind of relationship do you have up with Octavia? Well, Octavia and I don't have a relationship. We have a life together. How did you meet? Back when we were children, we were taken as apprentices by a great spellmaster, Janusz. Maestro Janusz, he called himself. He was our teacher. Well, he made Octavia read books and memorize spells. I have my own innate magic. He trained me a bit, taught me how to control my gifts so I wouldn't lose control and incinerate myself like a dumbass. Oh, teacher, we'll meet again. There's one more test I must pass. That sounded ominous. I'm not sure if he wants to meet his teacher for good reasons or to kill him. But you were asking about my Octavia. We've been together all of our lives. We learned everything together, how to weave magic, how to survive, and as we grew older, we learned how to love. Without each other, we would never have gotten out of there, that's for sure. We would have given up and surrendered to death, but together, that's a very different story. Not the first time, and not the 10th, but eventually we made it out. Why do you call her yours? She doesn't seem to like that very much. My girl loves freedom so much, and even a slight chance of losing it frightens her. She's so smart. You really think she feels like I'm trying to make her mine? Like an apple stolen at a market? Me, who was skinned alive for trying to help her escape? If she's afraid of the word my, it's because she doesn't understand the difference between my boots and my heart. But she will understand, sooner or later. Are you and Octavia faithful to each other? Octavia and I are connected, and this connection cannot be broken. We grew into each other, you know? Jealousy is for weak cowards who don't trust each other and are scared of being tricked. If a knight on the side threatened your love, that just means there was no real love to begin with. She and I are together, to the end, and we will never part from each other. So when she likes some lad or lass, it's no drama to me. I just ask her whether she wants me to leave them alone or join in. And she does the same. What, are you judging us? Or maybe you want to join us in our tent? Just curious. You asked, I answered. When you pry into others' lives, don't be surprised if you find something that will keep you up at night. That's a shitty laugh. I'm no good at orc laughs. I'm just gonna skip those. What did you say when you were killing Kalana? What? Oh, that? Callistra's holy words. I stabbed thee with my heart. We say that when we get our vengeance. Those words make it so much sweeter. So long. If you have anything else, just ask. Don't be shy. Just don't go pale when I answer. Octavia. Oh, hello. Octavia gives you a fetching smile. Something you need? Could you tell me about your childhood, please? She sighs. Too little. Some scraps of memories. No more than that. Well, what do you remember? Octavia reflects on that, tapping her finger against her cheek. Nothing special. Some images of faraway past. That's all. I do remember wooden table legs. The paint on them was peeling off and I was standing on my toes, trying to peek at what was on the table. I remember the wild rose by the window. It kept me up at night, scratching the glass with its gnarled branchlets. I do remember my mother's blue dress. It was a trifle better, but it smelled of lavender. Octavia wrinkles her forehead. I guess that's all. Not much there, right? All those memories, it's like they're not mine at all. I recall some images, and I know I should feel something about them. But I don't remember what exactly I should feel, so let them rot in a swamp with tassel worms. My life's good enough without them. What do you know about your parents? You're half-elf, right? Am I? She examines herself, as if seeing herself for the first time. You know, I think you might be right. I'm rather slim and tall. I can see well in dim light. She raises her hand and touches her ears. Aha, they're a bit pointy. Yes, I'm definitely a half-elf. I think I'm getting trolled. Let's think about that logically. So my mother was an elf, and my father was a human. Or maybe it was the other way around. And my mother was a... Finally, Octavia can't take it anymore and burst into laughter, having spoiled her own act. So that's it. Now you know as much about my parents as I do, she says after her laughter subsides. Do you remember how you were enslaved? I clearly remember the man who took me away from my home. He was big, with a huge pot belly and a shaggy beard. I was afraid he would eat me. Octavia shrugs. Anyway, he didn't stay with me long. He gave me to his slaver accomplices, and I never saw him again. When my mother was giving me to him, she was crying. I can still barely hear her quiet voice, but I can't recall her words or her face behind the tears. Just that lavender smell. It tickled my nose and I wanted to sneeze. Did my mother sell me into slavery? But then why was she crying? And if she didn't want me to be a slave, why didn't she try to save me? She twirls her hair, pondering over her thoughts, then sighs. One more riddle from my past that I don't care to solve. Must be horrible, not being able to remember. Oh, I recall my childhood in rather bright details. It was spent in dirty barracks. I wore flea-infested rags and slept on a straw mattress instead of a proper bed. Octavia smiles humorlessly. Then I understand what you mean. You know, to be honest, I'm not sure I want to remember my childhood before slavery. If I could remember what I lost, it would probably just bring me more pain. She shakes her head several times and makes herself smile again. So it's good I don't remember much of anything. Tell me about your life in slavery? I don't like to recall it, but if you insist. She frowns. The slavers from the Technic League tried to ruin my life, but all they could do was ruin my childhood. How did you happen to find yourself in the Stolen Lands? My enslavers from the Technic League founded a large expedition into the Stolen Lands. 100 agents, tens of slaves, wagons. We were to search for some ancient artifacts or ancient ruins, she shrugs. Kitty, I need to see the screen. Our group never made it to the Technic League hideout. Along the way it was attacked by the future owner of the Stolen Lands himself, and I'll be forever grateful to him for it. Well, that's a shame, because we're going to be killing him. Did you have many masters over the years? Yes, many of them. Some owned me for years, others felt they'd had enough of me in a couple months. Trust me, I did all I could to make every master eager to get rid of me. A slave that's trained in magic is a rather expensive thing, so they wouldn't kill me. At least that was the hope. So I drooled and played an idiot, and I listened as every new master argued with my former one trying to return me. Sometimes I punctured the pages of magic books I was forced to copy with a quill. Other times I pretended to mix up the spells, so instead of lighting a magic torch, I set dozens of dancing lights floating just below the ceiling. Of course, most of these tricks of mine usually ended badly. I got punished on a regular basis. My back still remembers the master's whips, though all my scars from those times are long gone. Where did you learn to use magic? Oh, I was taught magic by Janusz of Starfall, one of the most famous wizards of Numeria. Maestro Janusz, as he insisted on calling himself. Octavia's voice overflows with contemptuous sarcasm. Anyone would be happy to learn from such a great master, and only a talentless bitch like me would dare to reject his teachings and indulge in her laziness. At least that's what Maestro Janusz used to repeat constantly while whipping knowledge into my back. The great Maestro was a big fan of punishment. Octavia's lips pressed into a thin line. The Technic League didn't care if a few slaves died under the master's whip, as long as Maestro Janusz provided an arcane trained one in return. Officially, there's no slavery in Numeria, but the Technic League is above any law. A slave with an aptitude for the arcane is worth much more than a regular one. The slave's repertoire is limited to the simplest and safest spells, of course. Have you ever tried to run away? What a silly question. Of course I tried. As soon as we saw even the tiniest opportunity to get free, Bragg and I grabbed for it. On one occasion, we jumped from the cart into the river. There was a time when we spent weeks trying to dismantle the far wall of the barracks and make a path out. Sometimes we attacked our guards when they least expected it. So there's a bit of a plot hole here. She and Rag were trained together by the Maestro. That makes sense. But then how did they have multiple masters later and yet somehow stay together to try and escape together? That part didn't make sense. We crave freedom. We lived only to dream about it. Those short days, sometimes weeks, that we spent on the run were the happiest days of my life. We used to hide in the woods or blend in with the crowd on the streets of Starfall. Midnight stars were our guiding lights, and we shared our dream with them, to reach the river kingdoms. For in these lands there were neither slaves nor masters. We were starving and freezing, but that was the real life. Too bad it usually ended too soon. The Technic League agents always found us in the end. I don't know how they managed to do it. They probably used magic, or maybe it was just our fate. They whipped us and returned us to our old masters, or sold us to new ones, if the old ones refused to pay. So we were slaves again, but the dream about the river kingdoms never left our hearts. So yeah, it's like they were always sold as a pair, but I can't imagine anyone wanting to buy slaves as a pair. Have your masters ever hurt you? You figured that out, didn't you? She narrows her eyes. Or maybe you want to hear all about the beatings I survived, the humiliations I endured. Imagine the worst thing one person can do to another and multiply it tenfold. That's what happened to me nearly every day in slavery. Masters. Oh, how I hate that word. Octavia shakes her head furiously, making her locks dance. They punished me because they wanted to hurt me. But what hurt even more was the mere fact of their existence. Octavia stops you, gently touching your hand. Wait, I want to tell you. She sighs and shakes her head at it, as if trying to collect her thoughts. The Technic League agent you rescued us from. Reg and I tried to run many times, but they always managed to find us eventually. I have no reason to hope that this time they've lost track of us for good. Well, now they have to deal with me. Octavia raises her eyes to you and gives you such a warm smile that you're unable to not smile back. In the depth of her eyes, you notice something that wasn't there before. This unnamed feeling hides in a moment, but you're sure you know what it was. Trust. Thank you, she whispers, touching your shoulder. Suddenly she frowns in contemplation, twirling her locks. Still, I'd like to find them first. What kind of relationship do you have with Rigongar? She shrugs awkwardly. We're together, she answers simply. What you said, we're together, sounded unconvincing. Is something wrong? You've noticed? Well, I didn't mean that. Now I'll have to explain. She shakes her head. I'm not sure how to put it correctly. You see, Reg seems to treat me like his property. He's always kind to me, and it feels good when we travel together, or when we share a blanket at the campsite. But he always calls me my Octavia. I've told him over and over that I don't belong to anyone, that I'm my own, that I stay with him by my own free will. He only grins when I say that. I bet he likes to think that I'm his. Never mind though, I'll sort it out somehow. I mean, it seems like a small thing. But if you didn't like it, just stop saying it. When did you meet Reg? Years ago, when I was studying magic at Maestro Janusha's. Reg was a student too. Though you couldn't actually say he was really studying anything. Reg had his own way to cast spells. He never needed the Maestro's instructions. You see, unlike wizards, Reg draws power directly from his innate bloodline abilities. Janusz didn't realize the nature of Reg's power when he took the young boy as his new student, and when he finally understood them, he just taught the negligent half-orc to control his powers to avoid harming himself or the others. Reg and I have been together ever since. We could both use magic, but more importantly, we both craved freedom. We used to vow to each other that someday we'd break free from the unbearable captivity or die trying, together. Octavia gives you a warm smile. I guess it's good that we fulfilled only the first part of that vow. You owe him so much? Octavia winces. I don't like this word. I don't owe anything to anybody. Everything I do of my own free will. But to answer your question, yes, Reg has done a lot for me. I can't count how many times he has whipped by masters because of me, how many times he took the blame for my doings. He never complained when they dragged him, beaten and covered in blood, to the slave barracks. He just groaned and clenched his fist while I bandaged his wounds with the scraps of my filthy clothing. That sounds like a good way to get an infection. We've always been together, my whole life, as slaves and as free people. I wouldn't be me if not for him. The fact that Reg is so impulsive doesn't bother you? I say standing maybe 2 feet from him. Ah, that is a very delicate matter. She winces, looking away. Reg means a lot to me, and he's endured a lot for me, but some parts of him just scare me. He becomes extremely bloodthirsty when it comes to slavers. Don't get me wrong, I hate slavers with all my heart, and I'll do a lot to cleanse the world of their filth. But Reg, he'd do anything. Understand? Absolutely anything. I'm afraid that anger might kill everything good in him. I've attempted to talk to him about it many times, but he just won't listen. He becomes even angrier after our conversations. She sighs sadly. Well, let's change the subject. I just have to ask, how do you manage to look so gorgeous even when we're out in the middle of nowhere? Oh, so you've noticed. She smiles slightly. My appearance is the result of daily effort, and it's not easy. Do you know how much time it takes to create good makeup or to mend a dress, even with the help of magic? So if Sunday you wake up early, an hour before dawn or so, you can actually check on me. You'll see how I prepare myself for a new day. Part of me wants to tell her to just stop wasting her time on nonsense, but I mean, she's clearly proud of herself. I'll just compliment her on the results. You bet, you know, I like to feel attractive, even while we're on the march. She flashes a teasing smile at you. It feels so good to be a beauty in a group of barely washed and extremely reckless young gentlemen. You're my thorns and I'm your rose, she giggles. You worship Callistra, right? Yes. Many slaves survived only thanks to their faith. Some lived hoping for a day when a good deity would deliver them. Some even offered deals to the evil gods. But me and Reg, Callistra has taught us the most important things. Expect no gifts from above. Rely only on yourselves. Never forgive those who wronged us, but at the same time, savor every droplet of pleasure we could squeeze from our bleak days. It's amazing how you remain so cheerful and optimistic. Octavia's smile fades a little. I try not to view my life as a never-ending course of sufferings. Yes, I've had my share of hard times, but do I need to recall them? After all, along with the bad things, I had some good things as well. I had a dream and I followed it, and eventually it came true. Following that path, I met Reg and you. Now I'm free and surrounded by friends. Why do you need to find those Technic League agents? I broke free from slavery. Thanks to you, I've obtained everything I dreamed of. My freedom and the opportunity to control my own life. I want to use this opportunity to fight the Technic League, at least the part of it that operates here in the Stolen Lands. I wish to free all the slaves from their Technic League masters. She gives you a warm smile and gently touches your hand. I do believe that while we're together, we can achieve a lot, even this. Okay. Okay, so talking to Octavia didn't open up any new dialogue with Regungar. Mostly just to make sure everyone's not getting fatigued. I think it was Bakken that knew about the druid. Scroll of removed blindness is real expensive. But she's still blind, so... I don't think he can cast remove blindness, so... looks like we're just biting the bullet on that one. One task, one scroll of remove blindness, please. I guess by trophies they just mean stuff that was in that box. Oh, okay, so people on the left are the ones we're taking. You know what? I do kind of want to swap her out for Regungar for just a little bit. Having a big shield is cool, but having a lot of damage is also cool. Okay, so... I haven't been able to get the moon radishes or the fangberries that I was trying to get. I still don't know where this druid is. But I've got pretty much all the left mapped out. So just hit this far right. So have you got bandits again? Probably another one behind us somewhere.
You can count on me.
But let's get some enlarged person going. Oh yeah.
Who will prevail? Doesn't matter.
And some cleave. Let's watch what happens here. Oh, Jesus. Oh yeah. So is that dude from behind? Where's her second level spells? Oh, she can probably killer spray this dude.
Tear them apart!
Yeah. Killer spray messed him up.
Look at me, Gorum!
Repent!
I think his movement speed went down. But it shouldn't have.
I stand ready.
Didn't expect to scroll on them. Oop. That's me.
Forwards.
You better not get in this guy's way. The long years he's spent in slavery have given him quite a temper. A sword blow or a deadly spell might not hit only his enemies. Something. What's up with these unknown paths? Now I've gone through most of this place. I'm a little dry on ideas. I'm gonna try just delving into the fog. It's not my first choice, but I'm just out of places to search.
Stand with me.
Oh, okay. Easy enough. Didn't get one spell off.
Forwards.
A mysterious trail in the hills. Being able to drop items and pick them up later would be good for when I overbuy rations in camp. Actually,
Forwards.
we should save. It's been a little bit. guy's got a lot of HP. Good chunk of HP. And our wizard appeared to be in the front lines. Alright. Bard and wizard now safely in the back lines.
I'm restless.
Yes, I'm still here.
That ability is so great. Ooh, really? +1 short bow? Just like that? I know who's getting that. Man. We have so much magic gear to get. These poor guys are rocking basically nothing. True dragons can live up to 1,000 years or more, becoming more powerful with each year's passing. Usually, elder dragon basically means more dangerous dragon. Wouldn't it be cool if humans were like that? Like, we just got more and more badass as we got older, instead of just, you know, getting old.
I need to catch my breath.
My strength betrays me.
So, we're all tired, but it's K, probably.
Forwards.
What have we randomly encountered?
Stand with me.
Bandit illusionist.
Apart!
So,
They go down!
probably more bandits to be found.
I'll cut you. We shall overcome.
I'm letting you out of our story.
Righteous awaits us.
Ah, shit.
The end
Did Harim
draws
get
near.
blinded? Or is he just... yeah, he's stunned. Okay, that's no biggie. Yeah, certain spells' abilities have permanent effects, e.g. permanent blindness. Doesn't mean they're really permanent, just that, well, you have to do something special to get rid of them. Okay, so Regonger doesn't have a role. Sucks at watch, so he might as well help with hunting. Hunting took 16 hours? I don't think Regonger helped with the hunting at all. Alright. Fingers crossed it's the magic source of the magic fog.
Forwards.
These little random creatures keep grabbing my attention, but they don't actually matter. Oh, There's a corpse up here, which may be a bad thing. A water elemental. And
What's the holdup?
let's just go ahead and presume
Where to now?
he's not our friend.
Can you make an epic pose?
So
I
let's
need
fight the large
inspiration.
water elemental with large people. And shocking grasps. 27. Very solid, even though it was reduced.
This spell's not supposed to work.
Strum on, Lindsay. Oh. Take it back. That was actually easy. We didn't even get scratched. 3 scrolls of remove blindness? I am spoiled. Feels like we should be able to go into this cave. But I guess not. It's just a water elemental, a dead dude, and really valuable scrolls. Origongar never gets to finish a spell. Okay, I'm gonna try and take on the fog up here. The air became so damp it was hard to breathe, and we were soaking wet in the blink of an eye. With each step, our eyes told us less and less, until finally we were completely blind. It was positively impossible to continue this way. After roll call, having made sure all of us were in place, we tried to turn around and walk in the opposite direction. Alas, we may as well have had our eyes closed. Stumbling and cursing anything and everything, we strayed for half a day. It was only by sheer luck that we managed to come clear of that place. And exactly in the spot we started from. Tired, wet, and hungry, we swore that there was nothing that would make us walk back into that haze. That went about as well as I'd hoped. Maybe we can detect magic better.
I need to catch my breath.
My strength betrays me.
Okay, so there's nothing down here. We just wasted a lot of time. So I'll reload that. That's new.
Can you make an epic pose?
Repent.
I need inspiration.
Greater Were Tiger. That sounds bad, honestly.
I'll cut you.
I stand ready.
Okay, time to make camp next to all these fresh corpses.
Reg, I need some inspiration. Strike a heroic pose.
A pose, you say? I like poses. The ones I like would inspire you for something quite different, though.
Don't loot the Lindsay. There was something we messed up there. This guy. That's an awfully fat spider. That'd be creepy. May have to like break down and just look up where I need to go. Still can't believe that there aren't any clues in the hint log. So the bandits came from Thorn Ford, In a couple of weeks, maybe they returned. Kind of grasping at straws here. It said the bandits had time to cover their tracks and get out, because we followed Tartusio. But I don't know, following Tartusio felt like the right thing to do, since it led us to the old tomb, which was pretty nice. Get a party member, all that jazz. Nope, I got one last patch of brown, I guess. Right here.
I need to catch my breath.
Okay, is it possible that we just navigated every single other area other than the one we wanted? Time to find out. Man-eater troll. Yeah, now we're gonna need lots of acid splashing.
I'll survive. I always survive.
Forgive me for this failure. The weak suffer. I endure.
Protect me, please.
Well, that could have gone better. But now that we know what we're looking out for, we'll just cast the buffs beforehand.
I yearn for entertainment.
I won't let you down. Anything is possible.
Esme, Axel, yes.
Tear them apart!
Consider me provoked.
No.
I'll survive.
Jesus.
I always survive.
Completely slapped.
Lost.
And
The weak suffer. I endure.
we're missing like crazy. Just to go along with it. Maybe we can blind him. Or we'll just blind everyone.
I shall not falter. Forgive me for this failure.
Damn. Wait. And he got brought down with the last second sneak attack. There. Acid sneak attack. Deal with it. Okay, that sucked though. That was very difficult. Now everyone has that glow. We got a magic belt. Giant strength. So now we have 2 peoples with giant strength. Oh yeah. And a +1 light crossbow. Just going right there. Is there nothing else to this place? Just an angry troll? Aha. Okay. Well, I guess that's a yes. There was very little to this place. We should sleep after an ass whooping like that. I bet it's easy to set up camp while you're giant.
You know, Harem, I don't think your Grotus cares about his congregation. What's the point in worshipping him?
And what's the point in venerating the other gods? All they promise their followers is empty fuss, pleasure, war, magic. For his part, Grotus teaches us to accept the inevitable with dignity.
I think I'd be happy if my god did more than telling me to accept the fact I was going to die. It's pretty much a given. Mortal's gonna mortal. Okay. We just defeated the last of the brown. The only thing we haven't done is got Bakken. Those fucking berries and mushrooms. I'm gonna look up if that is truly required. And I guess that'll be the end of this episode. So, thanks for watching, guys. Have a good one.